Good morning. I'm just gonna film this. I'm not even gonna edit it. I'm just gonna have a flow of consciousness, stream of consciousness, honestly. Y'all, just look what's around me. Look what's around me. Look at all this. Look at all these notes. Look at all these notes. Bruh. Plus I made notes on my iPad for every lecture. Okay, I just did an exam. And I'm having a crisis. I'm having a midlife crisis. I'm having a midlife crisis at 19 years old. And let me explain. I I'm genuinely considering taking a year off and traveling Canada next year, and I don't have a car. I don't have a license. I don't even have my G1. But I'm seriously considering it because let me tell you, I watched every lecture. Okay. I did so many practice questions, but I had like 3 hours of sleep and I woke up so nauseous. Like this entire time when I was trying to study, like I was like this close to throwing up, and most of the time I was just staring at the screen. I was like, I have the answers. Like I could probably figure it out. Like I've done a lot of work. I went to every class, but I just don't have it in me to answer. And I kind of sabotaged myself a little bit, and I was like, I could push through, but I'd rather vomit. And I'm still so nauseous and sleep deprived. And I understand that this is just because of circumstance, but I feel like I've really been losing my endurance recently, and I've just been like a little discouraged, and I hate to say it, but I feel like growing up, I always, or at least like in high school, I was always blessed because I didn't have the issue of being confused on what I wanted to do with life. Like I always had so many hobbies creatively, and I have a passion for science. So I was like, regardless, I'm blessed. Let me just get a degree in neuroscience and be a YouTuber or a freelance artist on the side. Like I have the means, I have the passion, let's do it. But recently I've been having a little bit of a crisis, and I was telling my friend about this, and she said honestly it's probably compounding because things were online this year, and also like just isolation. And I know everybody's grades are going down, and it's not even just about grades. Honestly, I'm just like a little confused because like I'm studying neuroscience, but I'm like trying to find a research position, but I'm realizing I don't really like the classes that I've done that are like straight up for labs, like neuroanatomy and neurophysiology. Like they've been very hard for me, but psychology courses, like I will drop a 90 like out of nowhere. I'll be like, it's just like so interesting. It's so easy to absorb. But I chose neuro because I like the prerequisites. Like I like learning about like biology and like understanding how the plants vascular systems work, and like how they um like their equivalent of like veins, and how they use like evaporation through the leaves to like draw up a stream through transpiration. And yeah, so I just like the prerequisites because I like just like knowing about everything, knowing the chemistry, the biology, and the psychology. But the biology has like the actual neuroscience part is like killing me right now, and I think it's just for this year because next year I have some interesting ass courses. Like I have this course called drugs in the brain, and I'm really hoping I I'm just really looking forward to it. But I feel like I'm just going through a little bump right now. But like I said before, I never really had an issue with figuring out what I want to do with my life. But now I'm like, maybe I should have taken psychology instead. And I know it's not a big deal because, like, I could just take the freaking courses and, like, psychology courses and then get, like, a research position in clinical studies. But today, like, I was sitting here for 3 hours trying to do this exam, just staring out. And I would watch YouTube videos. I would literally be like, okay, let me just take a break and watch a YouTube video. What is wrong with me? I was like, what is wrong with me? I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, what has it come to? Yeah, I'm doing an exam right now. And I'm watching YouTube videos. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, what is wrong with me? Am I that clocked out? Like, and I'm not trying to judge myself. But I was just like, this is saying something, like, and I feel bad saying this, that I'm, like, neglecting my education, but I just need a break. I need a break. So I'm really, like, thinking about getting this van and getting my license. But the thing is, it's like, I feel like recently my passions have just been, like, turning over too quickly, and, like, what I want to do is just, I keep changing my mind and, like, finding other things without actually executing anything. And so I'm like, is this investment worth it? But yes, it is worth it to get, like, a van and a license and do it. Because here's the thing. I've been watching a bunch of alternative lifestyle YouTubers. Like, I found this one, what's her name? Isabel Page. I love her color grading. Like, she lives in the mountains in America somewhere, and it's so beautiful, and she's so grateful for the little things, and you could tell that she means it. Just how appreciative she is of, like, just the wind blowing, or, like, the silence before the sun comes up. And I don't know, it's just inspiring me. I'm like, I wanna live in a van. I wanna go live in provincial parks for a few months and, you know, camp out. And I was, like, running the numbers, and I was realizing, like, I'm trying to work through some guilt when it comes to spending money, because like, I was planning on going to McGill next year, which I have been wanting for 2 years. Like, I have been longing for it. Like, I have literally never wanted anything more. I've never wanted anything more. Like, I would literally cry at the idea of, like, getting the acceptance letter and just, like, already feeling that gratitude. Like, I would practice opening up my emails and seeing I was accepted. Like, I would literally like, because, you know, like Purple Palace said, the YouTuber, she was like, we always rehearse arguments with people, or, like, things that we should have said, or, like, reenacting, you know, some altercations and whatever. But why don't we practice the good things? Practice getting good news, practice getting compliments, you know? Manifest that right now, you know? So yeah, I wanted to go to Montreal for so long, but sitting here nauseous as hell, watching YouTube videos as the time takes, as the exam that I spent so many hours studying for, like, notes on notes, babes, notes on notes, equations on equations, and now what? I was like, this is the moment everything has led to when it comes to the months I've spent in this course. This exam is worth how much? 40%? And I'm out here watching YouTube videos. Please explain, Sade. Please explain why you invested hours and hundreds of dollars into this course, and you're out here in the one moment that matters watching YouTube videos during your exam. You lost how many hours of sleep? I'm not even trying to judge myself. I'm just like, this is saying something, because when it comes to, like, the grades, the courses that I'm not I haven't been doing that well in that, or like actually for neuro, and like making me question whether I picked the right field. I realized that honestly, some of the, like a lot of the reason why you're not doing the things that you committed to is because you're not actually passionate about it. And I can't for a moment like say that I'm not passionate about neuroscience. I know this is like like I said, it's also because of Corona and like isolation, and I just like overworked myself recently, and um I just think that if the course was really something that I was passionate about, or the field or whatever, then it would have been easy to get a good grade. Like the way that I could during the summer when I was working on my crystal jewelry brand, I would sit down for 5 hours just editing or putting together the website, and I would enjoy it. I didn't care. I didn't mind. It was so natural. Like the flow state came so quickly, so easily, with so little resistance, and I loved every moment of it. And I was like, if you the reason why you don't do things usually isn't because you're not lazy. It's because maybe not that passionate about it. So I've also been, and I don't know if I could say that about neuroscience. I'm just like uninspired right now, I suppose. But and I've never taken a break. Like I've never taken a year off. And honestly, with Corona, I think it's time that I take a year off. Like I wanted to take a semester off, um, but I couldn't for reasons outside of myself. But yeah, I've also been learning about like finances and like living below your means, and like the common trajectory of like, of life. Like okay, so you go to school, you go in debt, and then you work for the rest of your life to pay off those loans, and then you buy a house, and then you're in even more debt because houses aren't necessarily assets, because assets put money in your pocket, like whether or not you're working towards it, and houses take money out of your pocket, like mortgage and interest, like you're literally just working for the bank, like selling your soul to the bank. But that's fine. I love, one of my biggest dreams is to own a house. Like I'm not shaming anyone. It's just like something we have to be aware of. I don't know. I read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it's making me reevaluate my life. But anyway, so about the common trajectory, I realized like there's other ways to do it. Like, so I've been watching all these alternative lifestyle YouTubers, and Isabel Page, the one I was talking about, she was saying how she like built this tiny house, and it's super efficient. It's like the cost of living is so low because it's just so efficient. Like for example, like you don't have to pay much for electricity, because in normal houses, you heat every room in the house, even if you're only using like two. But in a tiny house, it's like you're heating all the space that you're using. Like it's, so it's like about minimalism. And she says that the reason why she lives her life in this way is for genuine freedom. And she was like school oriented. Like she was like an IB program. She, in high school, she finished 2 years of university. Like she was, going down the normal trajectory, I suppose. I don't know, or ideal. And she stopped because American education is super super expensive, so it just didn't make sense for her, because she realized like she didn't want to feel like get trapped in the debt aspect, which I'm not too worried about personally. I don't know, I just feel supported by like OSAP and scholarships, thankfully. Also, but I am gonna have to work like a lot next year if I move to Montreal. But anyways, yeah. So I've just been like really mindful of the traps, you know, of life, and like when it comes to finances and how living below your means and minimalism can come to play to, free yourself of that. And I just want some freedom. I just want some freedom. But the reason why I'm a little bit conflicted about like how spontaneous buying a car and renovating it, which honestly I would love. The reason why I'm like conflicted is because like first off, I don't even have my license, and like, am I really about to drop my life savings? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've been like keeping track of my finances recently, and I realized like there are some purchases that I made that were absolutely blessed, and I would make again. Like this iPad. Like I used to, I used to like feel so much guilt about like spending my money on things that like actually would benefit me. But this iPad has literally been the best thing I've ever bought in my life, and I was like, this is such a luxury that like I don't know. I don't feel like I deserve, or it's unnecessary, and I felt guilty about it. But like it has literally changed my life. Like I do art on it, I film on it, I edit photos. Oh my god, I'm so nauseous. I write notes on it. Like I don't use any paper, oh, except for exams. I make like like summary sheets for like on actual paper for exams. But besides that, I don't use paper. So, it's been the best thing I've ever bought in my life. Like I'm so grateful. And I realized from like being more mindful with my spending and like actually tracking, I realized the things that bring me most, well, the purchases that I feel so grateful for are the ones that first off improve my quality of life and that I use consistently, like this iPad, and second of all, experiences. So especially with learning about like financial literacy, I realized I need to let go of this guilt of like spending my money. Although obviously I should do it mindfully, but I don't know. I realize like there's no need to feel guilty about spending on experiences. I just need to have faith that everything will balance out. But obviously make smart choices and like track your spending and like budget and all that stuff, which I'm working on. But yeah, so anyways, I kind of want to travel around Canada. So if I get into McGill for next year, because it's like abroad, it's not like actually I'm transferring from U of T to McGill. I'm just like going abroad, and I'm gonna live with my best friend. But I was like feeling like I was like, oh my god, I've never paid rent in my life. Like I'm really about to, like I feel like rent will just be throwing money into the trash. Like yeah, I'll be able, obviously have a place to live, and you know I'll be able to live with my best friend, and that'll be an amazing experience. But I realized maybe buying a car, like buying like a van and renovating it, and then using it during the summer for road trips and like living in the van is a better use of my money, because it's not like money going down the drain like every month. It's not like a constant purchase. Obviously I would have to pay insurance and like gas and stuff like that, but it would be a lot less than rent for that year alone. I'll actually have something to like something long term, you know. um but I'm like, okay, but I'm not trying to. I would have to definitely get like a really good van with like a heater, because Montreal winters are not very kind. Um, but I can figure it out. I'm looking into it. But now I'm like, I feel less attached to the idea of getting in. It would be a blessing, but if I don't get in, then taking a year off and like working for a few months and then buying that van and being able to like go to warm places instead of just Montreal for like the time that I'm in school. It would be such a blessing. Um, yeah. And then I'll have time to like actually post consistently and edit and like express myself freely. So I'm thinking about doing that. But yeah, the reason why I'm like, is this like too spontaneous? Is first off, I'm like, am I craving this freedom and like taking time off school because I just need some time, like I just need a summer vacation. And which is coming like tomorrow. By 3 p.m. tomorrow I'm free, although I have a whole ass exam to study for before that. Like I don't, and I'm like very burnt out. Like I'm not trying to repeat what the mess that happened today, but like tomorrow, but it's fine. Anyways, so I'm like, will summer be enough? Like, is it worth buying a van? I'll just do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna be spontaneous. Wish me luck, I suppose. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching this whole thing. Maybe watch out for some van life content, because maybe that's my trajectory. But yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna run the numbers, and I'm gonna go. I love you guys. Bye.